Hey YA Book Reads people, I'm Daniel Marks, in case you don't know. I have a YouTube channel, I'm someone else on that. I'm Danny Marks YA on that, and Twitter and stuff like that, and I'm here on YA Book Reads today to do something different I haven't done before, actually. I'm going to be doing a reading, like I would at a live event, of Velveteen by that one, me. And I thought instead of doing something from the very beginning, I thought I would just go straight for the middle and just do it like that. But before I start reading, I wanted to let you know a little bit about what Velveteen is about. And so I have boiled it down into a handy snippet, just a handful of sentences that should make it easy for anyone to understand. In the midst of a purgatory-shattering uprising, a soul retriever must juggle her responsibilities to her team, herself, and the future victims of the man who killed her. Not to mention a newly deceased and very hot boy's fixation. It's unhealthy. It's it is what it is. These are all very difficult problems for any dead teenager. So this is something from the middle of the book rather than the front. I don't know. I'm just crazy like that. It might give some stuff away. Probably won't. I doubt that this one's not going to be very spoilery. Chapter 15. A railcar lumbered past, rattling the thin, greasy window panes and dusting her cheeks with a fine rain of ash from the rafters. Velvet's eyes fluttered open. Gaslight streamed in from outside, not the full glow alerting them to working hours, but a dingy yellow slanting across her bed. Time worked differently in Purgatory. The imposition of night could stretch on and on as the stations that studded the planet cleared out their backlogs of incoming souls. When death lulled to a manageable trickle, the gaslights blazed up. She pushed up onto her elbows, yawned one of those big quivering yawns that make you see squiggly lines, and stretched. Velvet twisted her neck to the right, trying to crack it, work out the kink, and noticed something strange about the blankets, something horrifying. She wasn't alone. Nick lay sprawled out beside her. The sound spilled out of her like a leaky tire. She'd woken thinking their liaison had been a semi-pleasant dream, but clearly, unless Nick was extremely agile at slipping into girls' beds unnoticed, it was less dream and more like a hazy reality with consequences she didn't really have time for. Ash had been rubbed from Nick's bare shoulder, revealing the dull glow of sleep threading through his nerves. Not dreaming, she thought. He would be brighter. His hair was tousled, his face slack with slumber and something else. Satisfaction? She hoped not. He lay on his back with the white sheet bunched up under his right arm and his palm up and clawed, clenching something imaginary. A soft whisper spilled from his parted lips, lips she'd been more than happy to taste not so long ago. What else had they done? She pinched the edge of the sheet and lifted it up, skin, and lots of it. Nick had on the brown wool trousers from earlier, only now they were beltless and open where the trail of gray hairs disappeared down his glowing stomach into the exposed band of his boxers. Pants were a good sign, she decided. Not case closing, but something. Velvet poked him in the shoulder, and his face instantly scrunched up uncomfortably. Nick groaned, rubbed his eyes, and winced in her direction. Geez, what? What are you doing here? She asked, biting out each word. He grinned, like she was playing with him or something. We kind of made out and stuff, remember? Yeah, I got that. I'm just a little hazy on the part where I invited you to sleep in my bed. I'm going to need to see your permission slip. Nick smiled broadly and started to lift the sheet, his eyes motioning downward. Not what I meant. Velvet slapped his hand, and the sheet fell from his fingers. Hey, it's no big deal, right? We were both tired. I kissed you goodnight because I seriously can't get enough of your mouth, he sighed. I think I was just dreaming about those lips. Don't. Velvet's eyes narrowed viciously, and she balled her hand into a fist. I couldn't find my room, but I remembered where yours was. If you tell me we did stuff and I just don't remember. No way. I mean, God. No, you don't know me. I get that. But you gotta know that I wouldn't take advantage. His jaw clenched with conviction. He sat bolt upright and covered her fist with his palm. Your honor is unblemished, if that's what you're worried about. You were pretty tired. Is this guy for real? She wondered, glancing down at his hand, so much larger than her own, strong, protective. The imagery didn't sit right. Right, Nick, I believe you. She twisted her wrist until his hand fell away, and then she slipped out from beneath the covers. Thankful she hadn't stripped off all her clothes in her exhausted state. It would have been really difficult to make her point if she'd had to deliver the next bit totally naked. She tugged a sweater on over the t-shirt she wore and settled back at the foot of the bed. Nick followed her each and every movement, poring over her like he would an exam or maybe his playbook if they even had those in basketball. "This," she said, poking the sheet between them and leaving a dimple in the blankets, "is not a love story." He squinted, shook his head. "No? Definitely not," she thought. Velvet needed to get that through to the boy. His cocky smile, the way he deflected stuff with humor, everything about him was wrong for her. If anything, he'd have to settle for her eyes wandering over his body. And that face, and those eyes, and the way he was tracing the indents between his stomach muscles. Velvet gripped the thin slip of fabric covering the mattress. "No." "And what is it?" "Depends on the day. Mostly horror." So yeah, that's some of it. I don't want to give you the impression that the entire book is a romance, because it's not. The romance is a very small subplot. It's mostly, like Velvet said, horror. It's a very dark fantasy, and I hope everyone's going to like it. It comes out October 9th, which is like 2 days away, which is crazy, and I'm super excited. So there it is. Velveteen from Delacour Press. That's it. Well, and me. I had something to do with it a little bit. That's all. A big thank you for YA Book Reads for hosting a Danny Marks week. That's crazy. I don't know why anyone would. I thank you. I'll just leave it at thank you and goodbye. And follow me on Twitter and my YouTube channel and stuff. And yeah, because there's going to be giveaways, I'm sure, all this month. I'm certain of it. In fact, there'll be one here. So there you go. That's it. Have a good rest of your day, week, year. I don't know when I'll see you again. Or if I can see you now. I don't see you. I know. This is a very interesting one-sided